Hey everybody, it's me Greg, and I have new ideas for the Death Star. You know, the thing in the sky or something like that for the Star Wars Evil Empire or something like that. The first is the entire Death Star is made of kelp. Okay, it's kind of like SpongeBob SquarePants, but for the Death Star, and I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, next is Darth Vader puts his helmet at the end of the planet Death Ray of the Death Star, which acts like a bullet. You know, I thought that was kind of cool also. What is next? Sour cream in the Death Star makes Vader's force that much better. Okay. Next. A Stretch Armstrong that can wrap around the Death Star. Okay. I thought that was kind of cool. Chick-fil-A cow tells the inhabitants of the Death Star to eat more chicken instead of cow. Okay. Next. Death Star is actually the pupil of Galactus from Marvel Comics. Okay. Let's see what's next. Can make the Death Star into a moon of Jupiter. I thought that was kind of cool. All guns known to man as lightsaber guns on the Death Star. Okay, you could have a Glock, you could have a rifle or something like that, and they act like lightsabers. Okay. Next is there is another end to the Death Star at the opposite side of the planet, Destroyer, which extinguished fires. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next. There are holding cells in the Death Star that are for mascots of baseball teams. Okay. Next. Let's see. Next cards. Clue board of Death Star should be made, okay? So you could have Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker, who is the culprit of killing someone, okay? Next is Death Star should be able to Death-Starify all skyscrapers on Earth. So you can make the Empire State Building into a Death Star, and you can do that for the Burj Khalifa and everything like that, and I thought that was kind of cool. Next is Power Ranger Zord should come from the Death Star. Okay, that's where they originate, and I thought that was a cool idea. Next is Home Alone should be filmed on the Death Star. Okay, with Macaulay Culkin, and I thought that was a kind of cool idea. Next is could possibly have a mini Death Star easy bake oven for little girls that like to bake things in the Death Star, and I thought that was a cool idea. Next. How fast can the Flash get from the beginning to the end of the Death Star? Okay, it's just a question. It's probably a second or something like that. Let's see. Next. Should be like a gold extractor on the Death Star to extract gold from planets like the Earth. Okay, next. Mushroom in Mario game that gives Mario a Death Star head. Okay, next. Should be a tombstone of when the Death Star was destroyed. It could be on Earth, it could be on Jupiter, whatever. Okay, I know Jupiter is made of mainly gas, but who cares? Next. Death Star scraps can be used for the police by the police as shields. Okay, so policemen can take scraps from the Death Star, which are part of the Death Star, and use them as shields. Next, okay, next cards. The Death Star can land on stars and not be destroyed, like the Death Star on the sun or something like that. Next is you need like a driver's license to operate the Death Star. Okay, next can bring back the dead on the Death Star. Okay, that kind of makes sense. There is a not as deadly Death Star out there, okay? So there's a diet Death Star and there's a regular Death Star. Next, Death Star is secretly the seventh Dragon Ball from Dragon Ball Z. Okay, next. If you are an enemy stepping onto the Death Star, then you will turn into a Pokemon card. Okay, next. Death Star can produce its own clouds. I thought that was cool. Next, Death Star has its own pubic hair. Okay, I thought that was cool. Next, can rotate the Death Star like it is Uranus. Okay. Last, I think, Death Star has its own Kool-Aid. And that's it. Okay, I hope you like my ideas for the Death Star. Okay. Maybe we can go in a building or some sort. Okay. That's about it. Okay, thank you. Oh, if you're an animator of some sort, maybe you can animate my ideas with the realism of this game. Converse with your friends or family about my ideas. Leave a comment about any idea that you might have, and I might feature in the next video. Converse with your... subscribe and like, check the list 3 idea video down below, and click the notification bell so you're notified when I have a new video out. Okay, thank you. Bye. Come on. Come on.